How's it going, everyone? Hope you're ready for another adventure, because today, Wayne reads The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. Remember, we've already started this book, so this is going to be part 2 of our adventure with Ivan. Also remember, if you want to follow along, just hit the CC button in your YouTube link below. Then you'll be able to read along with us. Hope you're ready for another adventure, because I am. But I wonder who's going to join us for today. Yo! Looks like Ivan's back. Let's jump back into your book, buddy. I feel like we have a lot more to learn. Let's begin. The loneliest gorilla in the world. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay. The humans came to visit from morning until night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Max says he's worried. He says, not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magical guy. You used to be a hit. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass, they cluck their tongues, they frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, I say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth, red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mother's hands. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I can understand them. It's not so bad, I wanted to tell the boy. With enough time, you can get used to almost anything. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV Mac put in my domain. They seem to find it odd. The sight of a gorilla staring at a tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder, though, isn't the way they stare at me sitting in my tiny box just as strange? He has a good point. My TV is old. It doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone returns to turn it on. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons, which with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen many romance movies too. In romance, there is much hugging and sometimes face licking. I have yet to see a single romance starring a gorilla. We also enjoy old Western movies. In a Western, someone always says, "This town isn't big enough for the both of us, Sheriff." In a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. The Nature Show. I have been in my domain for 9,855 days, alone. For a while, when I was young and foolish, I thought I was the last gorilla on Earth. I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. Then one night, I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble-minded horses. A different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, not a Western. I saw a lush forest. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. Then I saw him. He was a bit threadbare and scrawny, and not as good looking as I am, to be honest. But sure enough, he was a gorilla. As suddenly as he appeared, the gorilla vanished, and in his place was a scruffy white animal called, I learned, a polar bear, and then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal, and another. All night, I sat wondering about the gorilla I'd glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come to visit? If there was a he somewhere, could there be a she as well? Or was it just the two of us in all the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? Stella says she is unsure if I will see another real live gorilla someday. And I believe her because she is even older than I am and has eyes like black stars and knows more than I ever will know. Stella is a mountain. Next to her, I'm a rock. And Bob is a grain of sand. Every night when the stores close and the moon washes the world with a milky light, Stella and I talk. We don't have much in common, but we have enough. We're huge and alone, and both love yogurt raisins. Sometimes, Stella tells us stories of her childhood, of leafy canopies hidden by mist, and busy songs of flowing water. Unlike me, she recalls every detail of her past. Stella loves the moon, with its untroubled smile. I love the feel of the sun on my belly. She says, "It's quite a belly, my friend," and I say, "Thank you, and so is yours." We talk, but not too much. Elephants, like gorillas, do not waste words. Stella used to perform in a large and famous circus, and she does some sorts of tricks for our show. During the stunt, Stella stands on her hind legs while Snickers jumps on her head. It's hard to stand on your hind legs when you weigh more than 40 men. If you are a circus elephant and you stand on your hind legs while a dog jumps on your head, you get a treat. If you do not, the claw stick comes swinging. Elephant hide is thick as bark on an ancient tree, but a claw stick can pierce it like a leaf. Once Stella saw a trainer hit a bull elephant with a claw stick. A bull was like a silverback, noble, contained, calm like a cobra is calm. When the claw stick caught in the bull's flesh, he tossed the trainer into the air with his tusk. The man flew, Stella said, like an ugly bird. She never saw the bull again. Stellas Trunk. Stellas Trunk is a miracle. She can pick up a single peanut with elegant precision, tickle a passing mouse, tap the shoulder of a dozing keeper. Her trunk is remarkable, but still, it can't unlatch the door of her tumbled down domain. Circling Stella's legs are long ago scars from the chains she wore as her youth. Her bracelets, she calls them. When she worked at the famous circus, Stella had to balance on a pedestal for her most difficult trick. One day, she fell off and injured her foot. When she went lame and lagged behind the other elephants, the circus sold her to Mac. Stella's foot never healed completely. She limps when she walks, and sometimes her foot gets infected when she stands in one place for too long. Last winter, Stella's foot swelled to twice its normal size. She had a fever. She lay in the damp, cold floor of her domain for 5 days. They were 5 very long days. Even now, I'm not sure she's completely better. She never complains, though it's hard to know. At the Big Top Mall, no one bothers with iron shackles. A bristly rope tied to the bolt of the floor is all that's required. They think I'm too old to cause trouble, Stella says. Old age, she says, is a powerful disguise. I like that. I very much like that. A plan. It's been 2 days since anyone's come to visit. Mac is in a bad mood. He says we are losing money hand over fist. He says he's going to have to sell the whole lot of us. When Thelma, a blue and yellow macaw, demands, "Kiss me, big boy," for the 3rd time in 10 minutes, Mac throws a soda can at her. Thelma's wings are clipped so she can't fly, but she can hop. She steps aside just in the nick of time. "Pucker up," she says with a shrill whistle. Mac stomps to his office and slams the door shut. I wonder if my visitors have grown tired of me. Maybe if I learned a trick or two, it will help. Humans do seem to enjoy watching me eat. Luckily, I'm always hungry. I'm a gifted eater. A silverback must eat 45 pounds of food a day if he wants to stay a silverback. 45 pounds of fruit and leaves and seeds and stems and bark and vines and rotten wood. Also, I enjoy the occasional insect. I'm going to try to eat more. Maybe then we'll get more visitors. Tomorrow I will eat 50 pounds of food. Maybe even 55. That should make Mac happy. Bob. I explained my plan to Bob. Ivan, he said, trust me on this one. The problem is not your appetite. He hops onto my chest and licks my chin, checking for leftovers. Bob is a stray, which means he does not have a permanent address. He is so speedy and wily that mall workers long ago gave up trying to catch him. Bob can sneak into cracks and crevices like a tracked rat. He lives well off the ends of hot dogs he pulls from the trash. For dessert, he laps up spilled lemonade and splattered ice cream cones. I've tried to share my food with Bob, but he's a picky eater. He says he prefers to hunt for himself. Bob is tiny, wiry, and fast, like a barking squirrel. He is nut-colored and big-eared. His tail moves like weeds in the wind, spiraling, dancing. Bob's tail makes me dizzy and confused. It has meanings with meanings like human words. I am sad. It says. I am happy. It says. Beware, I may be tiny, but my teeth are sharp. Gorillas don't have any use for tails. Our feelings are uncomplicated. Our rumps are unadorned. Bob used to have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Humans tossed them out of the truck onto the freeway when they were a few weeks old. Bob rolled into the ditch. The others did not. His first night on the highway, Bob slept in the icy mud of the ditch. When he woke, he was so cold that his legs did not bend for an hour. The next night, Bob slept under some dirty hay near the Big Top Mall garbage bins. The following night, Bob found the spot of the corner of my domain where the glass was broken. I dreamed I hadn't eaten a furry donut, and when I woke in the dark, I discovered a tiny puppy snoring at the top of my belly. It had been so long since I felt the comfort of another's warmth, I wasn't sure what to do. Not that I hadn't had visitors. Mac had been in my domain, of course, and many of the other keepers. I'd seen my share of rats zip past, and the occasional wayward sparrow had fluttered in through the hole in my ceiling. But they never stayed long. I didn't move all night for fear of waking up Bob. Wild. Once I asked Bob why he didn't want a home. Humans, I'd noticed, seemed to be irrationally fond of dogs, and I couldn't see why a puppy would be easier to cuddle with than, say, a gorilla. Everywhere is my home, Bob answered. I'm a wild beast, my friend, untamed and undaunted. I told Bob that he could work in the shows like Snickers, the poodle who rides Stella. Bob says Snickers sleeps on a pink pillow in Mac's office. He said she eats foul-smelling meat from a can. He made a face, curled his lips, revealing his tiny needles of teeth. Poodles, he said, are parasites. Picasso. Mac gives me a fresh crayon, a yellow one, in 10 pieces of paper. Time to earn your keep, Picasso, he mutters. I wonder who this Picasso is. Does he have a tire swing like me? Does he ever eat his crayons? I know I've lost my magic, so I try my very best. I clutch the crayon and think. I scan my domain. What is yellow? A banana. I draw a banana. The paper tears, but only a little. I lean back and Mac picks up the drawing. Another day, another scribble, he says. 1 down, 9 to go. What else is yellow, I wonder, scanning my domain. I draw another banana, and then I draw a more. 3 visitors are here. A woman, a boy, and a girl. I strut across my domain for them. I dangle from my tire swing. I eat 3 banana peels in a row. The boy spits at my window. The girl throws a handful of pebbles. Sometimes, I'm glad the glass is there. My visitors return. After the show, the spit-pebbled children come back. I display my impressive teeth. I splash in my filthy pool. I grunt and hoot. I eat and eat some more. The children pound their pathetic chests. They toss some pebbles. Slimy chimps, I mutter. I throw a meatball at them. Sometimes, I wish the glass was not there. That is a great way to end part 2 of the one and only Ivan here with Wayne Reads. Did you have a fun time reading the book? Because I did. Did you have a fun time hanging out with us, Ivan? I like that part too. We'll see you on the next one, okay, boss? And we'll see you on the next episode of Wayne Reads. Look forward to seeing you for the next adventure. Bye-bye!